milk's not vegan, so no.
See, that's where you messed up. The Bible says milk and honey. Honey came from bees, bro.
It's true. All right. Enough foolishness.
Bro, that was classic.
We're going to go ahead and get to the main portion of the podcast. And we've got a pretty good topic here today. So last week we talked about what it looks like from the women's point of view to submit to a man of God. And we talked about the different responsibilities that each party has as dictated by the Bible, right? So a man's role is different from the role of a female. And that's something that we talk about all the time. Our society has kind of convoluted the two, and you know, our roles are kind of like have gotten confused. And I think that's what a problem is in a lot of relationships, a lot of marriages today. So we're talking about the roles within a godly relationship and the primary roles of a man, as we just talked about in the weekly airing of grievances, is, you know, to lead, to provide, to protect, right? So the man is the head of the home. So we're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about 4 ways to lead a home as a man. And I'm not sure if that's the exact wording of the title, J.E.
Hey, we'll rock with it, though.
We'll rock with it.
They've seen the title before they got to this segment.
You're right. So that's what we're talking about here today. So we've got 4 points that we're going to go over here today. And the first one, and of course, you know, it wouldn't be a J.E. Special if we didn't spell out the word lead. All right. So the first one, the first letter L, is that he is led by love. All right. So, and we talked about it some last week. The Bible instructs men to love your wives as Christ loved the church. So that's the first step to godly leadership as a man, is to love your wife, and not just love her, you know, but love her as Christ loved the church and gave his life for the church. Right. So that means that your love for your wife, the Bible says to love your wife as you love your own body. I'm paraphrasing there, but it says to love your wife the same way you love your own body. So it's not your typical kind of, you know, like, oh, I just have my girlfriend. Like this is different. And I think that's a major thing that we have to understand as men, the difference between love and infatuation. Because a lot of people, I think, get that confused. Infatuation, just because, you know, you don't feel that, like, infatuation is like a strong feeling, right? You know, you just meet a person, you know, she looks good, you know, she smells good, you know, you like the way she dresses, you guys are just hanging out, get to know each other. It's like a really strong feeling that you have for that person. And a lot of people misconstrue that to be love, and it's not, right? Sure. That's a feeling. Love is an action. Love's not a feeling. So if you know, when you get married, a lot of times, especially over time, that infatuation is going to wear off, because this is not someone new anymore. Like we talked about last week, it's not that new car smells, it's just gone, right? You're used to the car, you're used to the house. That's where love starts to kick in, because love is an action. Love is a decision that you make to take care of that person, to uphold your responsibility to that person, to hold that person's wants and needs in higher esteem than your own on a consistent basis over time. That's what love is. It's an action, right? The greatest act of love that ever took place was Christ getting on that cross and dying for us. There was no warm, fuzzy feeling about that. No. It was the most painful thing anyone has ever experienced in the history of mankind. That's love. That's love. It's sacrifice. It's tough. Yes, there are good times, of course, that you're going to have with your marriage and with your spouse. Absolutely. But it's not going to look like what you might be used to, you know, in the dating phase, in the infatuation phase. All right. So that is the first, major thing that you need to understand in terms of being a leader of your household is love. All right. And understanding that it's not just, oh, she looks good, so I love her. She smells good. She cooks good, so I love her. It's no matter what she looks like first thing in the morning when her breath isn't fresh and her hair isn't did. No matter what she, issues or, situations that she's dealing with right now that she needs me to, help pull her through, no matter what's going on in our circumstances, in our finance, whatever the case may be, I choose every day to care for this person, to love this person. That is one thing that's the number one thing that we need to understand as men when it comes to being the leader of a household.
Yeah, man. And to piggyback on the infatuation topic, I have this quote that many of y'all know me by, is that infatuation is blind, not love. Love is more factual than emotional. I hope you understand that. Love is more factual. That's why, man, you have to be lured to your woman, not by her looks, but by your love for her. Because looks fade. You know what I'm saying? She's not going to always, that bonnet, you're going to see that bonnet 90% of the time of your marriage. That is what it is. 92% in some states. And so you got to realize that you have to make sure that you understand that you can't just be enamored by her looks and get so consumed by that, because it's the looks that draws you to her, but it's your love for her that keeps you there. Now, I have this here, that in order to lead with love, you have to know love personally. See, love is a noun. See, when you love God, you can't, let me put it this way. It's going to be hard for you to do love as a verb until you know love as a noun. You have to become that noun.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? But so most guys, they get into the action base, but forget about the attribute base of love. So what that means is the more you spend time with God and you allow God's love to lead you, then you will become just like him. See, we're created in his image. The Bible says, let us make man in our image and our likeness, right? The key word in there is not necessarily image, because you can still bear the image of God, but not bear his likeness. Our goal as men, and all of us, should be to bear not only an image, because we're 3 in 1, just like he's 3 in 1. So we got his image. But the goal is, can we be like him? He is love. And the more that we are around him and the more that we are in his presence, we become love. And it becomes your default mental setting. It becomes your default setting that you are a noun. Now your love is genuine because you are love, and because you became love because you was with love. You see what I'm saying? And it's unfortunate a lot of men are afraid to love, number one, because they never seen it. You know what I'm saying? Number two, they didn't really have, they wasn't taught it. And so oftentimes there's a fear and a frustration and an unfamiliarity when it comes to love. But the Bible says he doesn't give us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. So when you know that the Spirit of God has given to you is a spirit of love, and that it's a spirit of power, and then it makes your mind sound, then you allow the love of God to perfect out of you that fear. Because the Bible says fear has torment. The perfect love of God is what casts out all fear. And now you're not afraid to love the right way. You're not afraid to love her in a balanced way, because a lot of guys, they love left. You know what I'm saying? They love only one-sided because they're afraid of losing her. So let me just love her this way. This keeps her around. No. You got to be able to love and be able to wash you with the word. That's love. Correcting in love and challenging in love and is beneficial to a relationship. You just can't be the guy that lets her lead manipulatively. You know what I'm saying? Because if you open that door, a good woman can fall into manipulation and she don't even know it, because the man is not balancing himself. And so the whole thing that I want to say is that in order to become love as a noun, you have to be around Dr. Love, Mr. Love, capital L, so that you can become like him, so that everything you do in your marriage is actually genuine love, because you are love yourself. I have also here that love is more factual than emotional. Like BD said, people think that love is just something you just do. But love has to be backed by facts. I'm in love because of this. So people say their vows, they just spit it out, but they don't really feel those vows. They don't really mean those vows. They're just trying to hurry up and get it to the bedroom. You know what I'm saying? But you have to understand that why am I in love with her? Like, why? That's what's going to make you lead, because you have reasons. Your why is bigger than what you see. And I also have here that you have to be lured by your love by the reasons why you love her and not by her looks. I think I already said that, but these are all the points that I have in that first segment. But none of this is possible if you're not being led by love himself, who is God.
That's right. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So the next letter that we have is E.
Thank you all so much for watching the Good Guys podcast here on my YouTube channel. If you haven't already yet, make sure you subscribe to the Good Guys podcast here. If you want to enjoy the rest of the content of this podcast, click this video over here. Make sure you hit the bell. Make sure you subscribe, leave a comment, a thumbs up. If you're watching this on Facebook, head over to YouTube right now. Type in the Good Guys podcast. We'll love to see you over there. Subscribe, hit the bell, leave a comment, thumbs up. We'll see you over there soon.